everybody. Thank you for coming. It's again a big pleasure to be here with you guys. Let me turn down a little bit. And to bring in tonight, this evening, we're bringing some new lessons. We're going to talk about marriage and long-term relationships. And first of all, I would like to talk about what I'm going to. This is a very big subject. We have a lot on material this area, and I'm going to talk only actually about marriage and long-term relationships. Many people are saying that because many people expect that I would talk about divorce, or I will talk about. I'm not going to talk about divorce. That would be this speech already has a lot of material. So, like I said. And I'm going to talk just a little bit about kids in the marriage, just going to put a little bit of it. So if you are expecting that, don't be disappointed, please. I'm saying up front already. Another interesting thing, like nowadays, we when you're talking about marriage or family, it's the words wife and husband appear a lot. We think a lot about that, but keep in mind that today we have like different long-term relationships. Sometimes the role of wife or husband are being done for a different person, right? Sometimes the male is doing the known role of a wife, and they are taking care of the kids and doing other stuff, and vice versa. So I'm going to try. Every time I say wife or husband, please. It's going to be the partner in the relationship instead. I will try to use partner, but sometimes I can say something wrong that can happen, right? All the questions, because it's a big one. I'm going to talk a lot. Let's leave the questions for the end, please, tonight. So that we sometimes we had like problems, like we had questions, and then at the end we don't have time to finish, we have to rush with it. So let's have the questions for at the end tonight. Now let's start with the speech. All right, let's start talking about what's the vision of the material world like about marriage. Many religions, they have a view about marriage. They are pretty good views, right? The Catholic Church or any other church that's Protestant, they have a very good view about marriage. What happens that the media, the books, the movies, so the society, the other part of society don't have a very such a good view about marriage and long-term relationships. So there are many myths that come when we talk about long-term relationship. For instance, soulmate. We are destined to find our soulmate, and this soulmate is going to make us happy forever. And this is something that we see a lot in movies and books and romance and things like that. And we see that's not a very realistic view. Another myth that we see is like everybody in our society has got to be married, has got to have a relationship. This we see as well that is not true. And nowadays the society is kind of changing. We are accepting more and more these people that don't want to have a relationship. But I remember when I was a kid, like if a guy is like on his 30s, is not married, they would look, what's wrong with this guy, right? And of course, this is still true in some places. We are not over that, but still we have that sometimes. And then we see how this thing is this kind of beliefs are going to influence relationships. Another wrong belief is marriage is the source of happiness. Like if I want to be happy. Maybe if I have a miserable life, I'm going to get married someday, and then I'm going to be happy, and everything's going to work just fine. So some people still think like this. And this is not realistic as well. One more, there's a lot. Unfortunately, there's a lot, like passion. Let's talk about passion. So some people think that passion is never going to end. We have to keep the passion alive in the relationship. And we see that this is not true. This is a unrealistic view. The marriage is going to evolve, the relationship is going to evolve with time. The passion is going to fade away, and then there will be some new things that will show up. So if you expect that the passion is going to last forever, we're going to be disappointed. That's not a very realistic belief. With that, also, now let's talk about how Spiritism defines marriage. As you see, it's very different. Emmanuel, from the hands of Chico Xavier, on the book Life and Sex, he says that marriage is an agreement where two people live together and trust that they will help each other in their spiritual development. Not very romantic, you can tell, right? There's not a lot of passion here. But I don't know, Emmanuel has, I never seen Emmanuel wrong, so let's give him some credit. Let's think about it a little bit, what he's talking about, right? So he says, marriage is agreement where two people live together. Okay, we are good with that, right? There's no problem here. It's agreement, we're going to be together, and if we want to jump out there are ways, we can, if we have our free will, we can do that, if we decide to do that. And trust that they will help each other in their spiritual development. This is the different part. Because if the most important part, according to what I was saying, is to be happy, he's not talking about happiness. He's not talking about passion. He's not talking about soulmate. He's not talking about any of it. He's talking that we are going to get together and we are going to help each other in the spiritual development. And that's a very different way to see it. So we are going to use all the virtues, all my possibilities, everything I have in me. I'm going to give friendship, companionship, love to help that other person to grow spiritually. That's what he's saying. It's different, and then the other person will do the same to me. And he's saying that's the most important thing in a relationship, in a marriage. And this is really different. And then we see that if we do that, then other things are going to come. We are going to get happier. We are going to have better sex life. We're going to have everything. All the other things that we expect from marriage are actually a consequence of the spiritual world. So that's a very different way to see it. Other Spiritist writers, they say if life is a school, a relationship is a university, saying that the relationship is like the best opportunity we have to grow spiritually. If that's in our life, right? It's not for everybody. We see that later on. Some people, for many reasons, we are going to talk about that, they are not supposed to have a relationship, or they are not expected to have, let's use this word, to have a relationship in their life. But for those that have it, it's really the best opportunity to grow spiritually. Why is the best opportunity to grow spiritually? Because you guys are seeing Marcelo here in front of you guys now, and you are thinking, "Oh my God, he's a good guy. He works for the church, for the Central Spirit Central. He has kids, and he doesn't drink, as long as I never saw him doing that." So you guys have this idea of Marcelo, right? But you don't know Marcelo. Marcelo at home can be a very different, probably much worse guy. Because we all have lots of problems and difficulties, and we are not saints. Nobody's saint here. And in our house, we are going to show who we really are. And sometimes it's not such a pretty thing that you guys are seeing right here, right? And I'm telling you, it's not. So if you really want to know me, who knows me is my family, my kids, my girlfriend. They know me better. They know my good and my bad. And then in a relationship, that's what we see. So we see the good and bad. That's why it's a university, because you're gonna work, live with someone, and you're gonna get everything. The person is gonna show you everything he has, the good and bad, and then you have to help him to grow spiritually, and he's gonna do the same for you. If it's a relationship that is working healthy according to Spiritism. Another thing, in the spiritual world, after we die, and then we go to the spiritual world back, we're going to stay there for a while, and then just for you guys to see the importance of a relationship, that's what I'm going to. And then at some point, we're going to ask to our spiritual guides, to the more evolved spirits, we're going to ask them, please give me, I would like to have a new opportunity to reincarnate, to have a new life, and to try again, to evolve. And then, if the opportunity is given to you, because you have to deserve it, or you have to have this request given to us. If this is given, then we start planning in the spiritual life. There is a planning that is done. So all these more evolved spirits are going to get together. And if you are evolved enough also to have a saying on this planning, we're going to say something. We're going to give ideas. We're going to discuss with them, and there will be a plan. And part of this plan is where you're going to be born. Who is going to be your father? Who is going to be your mother? Who will be your family and everything? And part of the planning is this marriage. Am I going to be married? Is that the best for me? Yes or no? Who am I going to get married to? This is some other thing. It's a very important part of our lives. So this is planned before in advance. Of course, we have free will. This is a plan. This is a contract, kind of a contract we sign. We look, we agree. Yeah, I want to do it. That's what we do. I want to do it, and I know it's the best for me. I know if I follow this planning, that's a really, I'm going to have a very good life. I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to spiritually grow a lot. And then we decide, okay, let's do it. And I sign for it. But then I'm going to be born, and I still have my free will. I always have my free will. God gave it to me, and nobody's going to take away. I may, and I don't remember, right? I have instinctively, I know what I'm supposed to do in this contract, but I still have my free will, and I may change. It's possible. Probably we're not, none of us, probably we are not going to go 100% in our contract. We are going to go out once in a while. And that's not the end of the world, right? If our free will, we decide not to do something that was in the agreement, then they're going to reevaluate our spiritual guides and our mentors. They're going to reevaluate and try to adapt this new path of my life to a new planning that's going to give me again the best chance to evolve. So it's not the end of the world. If you do it, and many people do it, they're going to go out of the contract. That's okay. We can. It's not the optimal, but it's not like we're going to waste our life. We're going to still evolve, and we're going to make it be worth it. One more thing. Let's talk just a little bit about family. Family is the center. It's the place for more powerful in terms of learning in the universe, because that's according to some Spiritist author. It serves as an instrument of evolution for the partners, and gives opportunities of reincarnation for the kids. It gives a very good environment for the kids also to grow and to become good people, right? To be. We give spiritual orientation, examples, counseling, shelter, affection, education, everything to the kids. So the family is really the cell, it's the small cell of the society. The society is going to be as good as the families that are in that society. The better societies, the better families we have, the better family structure we have, the better society we're going to get. That's a consequence of it. And the family is also the first exercise we do in love. So first we're going to love our partner, our kids, and then we start to grow it, like we have our parents, our relatives, and then our close friends, and then not so close friends, and we're going to widen this scope of love until one day we're going to get to the point where Jesus Christ is, right, which is universal love. So he loved everybody the same way, and that's our destiny too. And the family is the beginning of it. The family is very important because it's the beginning of it. Let's talk now. Types of marriages. It's not important for us to try to classify our relationship where it is. It's not important. That's not the intention here. The intention is like showing the types, according to this author, we can maybe understand better how it works, right? So these are the 4 different types that he was explaining to us. First one is the casual marriage. So it's not go to Vegas, get drunk, and get married. That's not it, right? Casual is like, in Spiritism, it's like the first time 2 spirits get together on a relationship. So they never had a past history. They never had before, met before in a former life. So they are fresh in terms of past. They don't have any karma, positive or negative. Casual relationship. Then they're going to meet and then they're going to try to make it work or not. If it doesn't work, then in the future they're going to meet again. Because if at the end of this casual relationship, and this is how we are going to always start for the first time, at some point in our lives, we're going to have we had at least one casual relationship. So if the relationship doesn't end up well, if you hurt the other party, then we're going to create some debts that we're going to pay later on. We're going to have to rescue these debts that we did. And how we're going to rescue, let's say, in a trial and expiation marriage. This is the case where we met someone, maybe in a previous relationship, maybe as it was just some enemy of us, someone that we did not get along in a former life, and then we end up our lives, we went back to the spiritual world, we start to talk to our mentors, and they decide, okay, you have to meet this person again, and the best opportunity for you guys to reconcile, it's a marriage of trial or expiation, trial and expiation. So you're going to get together and you're going to try to love each other. And until we don't reconcile, we don't get okay with this relationship, or we don't start to love, that's the key. Until we don't start to love this person and the person doesn't start to love me, I'm not gonna keep finding this person in my life, maybe as a partner, maybe as a dad, as a mom, as a relative, or maybe as a friend or something, but we're gonna keep getting in touch until we learn how to love each other. There is also the marriage of sacrifice. Sacrifice is like if one spirit is more evolved and he loves another spirit that's not as evolved, and then he decides to get in a relationship with this other spirit just to help him out, just to help him to have a good relationship where he can evolve a big deal. So the spirit more evolved is going to help him to go up a little bit. And maybe in this relationship you have kids too that maybe they're not so evolved as well. And then this person, this more evolved spirit, is going to become the anchor. It's going to bring all these guys up as much as possible, right? This is a sacrifice. So the person is going to donate himself to those people that he loves so much, he or she loves so much. And that's the good stuff, affinity. Affinity is good stuff. Right. That's what we should try to have it. So that's two people that they don't have any problems in the past. Maybe they met in the past, but they don't have any issues. And they are more evolved and they want to be together just for the sake of love each other more, to evolve, love more, to help each other to evolve, to have a really cool relationship where everything's going to work fine, it's going to be easy, smooth, and one is going to help each other to evolve. And this is something like maybe we have to look for, right? We have to do our work to get in this kind of relationship. That's a really good one. There is one speech I was watching. The speaker was talking about Madame Curie as an example of this. She's a chemistry and physicist. She got 2 Nobel Prizes, and she had a very good relationship with her husband, and she made a lot of advance for the science in the field of radioactivity. So Madame Curie, her name is very connected to radioactivity. She was the first woman to be buried in the Louvre Museum. She broke a lot of barriers about women. Was the first woman. She got 2 Nobel Prizes, like I said, the first woman to get this. She was really a very accomplished woman, and she used to take care of kids and everything as well. So she was really, and she had a very good relationship. So maybe the husband helped her a lot. This could be, I don't know for sure, but could be an example of affinity. And we don't know for sure where we are, which one, and I don't think it's important for us to know. Like I said, it's important to know what types they are and maybe know what we are looking for, which is this one. Objective of relationship. Like I said, marriage is not for everyone. Some people can be without a marriage, and maybe they have this contract that I talked about, this plan, where the spirits and him, they talked about not having a relationship would be the best option for that person for many reasons. We are individuals that are very complex, and if you talk about Spiritism, we are even more complex because we have like many lives, and so it's really every time we have to go to this planning and wait a lot of things. And so it's many people can for some people could be the best option not to get married. But if I still want to tie the knot, if I still want to do it, so I suggest that we do some thinking about the motives, why I want to do it, right? Really, is that because, I'm sorry, just let me start again here. I was talking about the complexity of our mind. This is an iceberg, okay? This is the water. And we say that 90% of the iceberg is under the water, right? So this is just to represent our conscious mind. This is Marcelo. That's me. That's my mind. But below, under the surface, we have a lot of influences. A lot. I don't know all of them. I know some of them. I know that maybe part of the influence is the family. Maybe the parents. The parents are very important. In terms of relationship, these are our models, right? We use the model, we learn a lot in our new relationship. Maybe the society is part of influence, it's a factor of influence my decisions. We have former lives former lives here too. We have mythology. Can you believe it? Mythology is part of our minds. I was reading a book from Joana de Angelis. She was talking about that, how much mythology influences our decisions, our minds, our beliefs. So we have a lot. Let me see if I forgot something here. Society, yes, there. Minds, former lives, okay. And because I'm not a psychologist, there's more here. I know there's more. I just don't know what there is, but there's a lot more. So our minds is it's a really complex thing, and what we use for decisions is just this. But everything down here affects our decisions, our decision. And then I was talking about, okay, let's decide to get married, and now we have to do a very good thinking to see if I really want to get married, or I'm get married because of my family, because my family wants me to get married, because they want to have kids. My mother, she wants me to have kids for her so she can be a grandmother. Maybe I'm gonna get married for interest or for comfort, or because I want more financial stability, or I'm afraid of being alone, right? This is not the the only reason, the only good reason to get married because you love the person. That's all. Anything other than that is not a good reason to get married. So we have to do this thinking here and really go inside of us to think about what's the real reason why I want to get married before we do it. Remember that the marriage is not the climax, the summit, the best thing, the best part of our lives. Our lives has a lot of other things, and marriage relationship is just part of it. Okay, we had already many lives, and we are going to have many more lives, and maybe this time is not the best thing. So let's think about it. I don't want to do it just because I'm going to feel odd, because all my friends are married and they are going to look at me weird if I'm not married, or things like that. We have to do it. It's a very conscious decision, so that I'm going to do it the right way, right? I'm going to help the other person to evolve, and the other person can help me to evolve as well. Let's talk a little bit about passion. And even though Emmanuel didn't talk anything about passion, we Spiritists, we have nothing against it. We're good at that. It's a good thing that we have. If one is going to say that never was on drugs, but this person was in passion, felt the passion someday, he is wrong because he was on drugs. Passion is a natural drug. I was reading a paper from a friend of mine some time ago, and there are many chemicals that the brain releases when we are in this passion phase. And they are really good stuff. It makes you feel really good. And if you, it's a good thing to feel, yeah, it's a really good thing. You're going to behave differently, you're going to think differently, you're going to think the other part is like there's no flaws, this person is perfect. You only think about him or her all the time, and it's really good stuff. But unfortunately, it's going to end at some point. That's the bad part of it. It's going to end, and then it's hard to get back, right? But then we have to just have to be aware of it, and then we have to bring new things to the relationship when this happens. There is always this story, and passion probably has some reason for it, right? Because it gives us some extra strength to get close to that person, to break the barriers if there is some difficult, some problems to get this person. So we're going to do stuff that we never thought we could do. We're going to go back and say, oh my God, how it was so courageous to do it, right? We can say the story of Romeo and Juliet, even though it's fiction, it's a very good story about passion, right? It ends up not very in a good way, but it's a beautiful story. It's a very beautiful story, and we talk about this today, right? Come on, those guys, they had a lot of passion to each other, and they did everything they could to get together. They did a good, and that's why we still talk about them, right? This is one example. Passion is really interesting thing. Yeah, it's a very, very good thing that we have. That I recommend. Okay, recommend everybody. But there are some. Let's talk about expectations now. When the passion is over, some people can get disappointed because they have wrong expectations about that. Some people just say, I have heard that so many times, that you have to keep the passion alive in the relationship and in a way that they think that the passion is going to be alive forever. It's going to be there for a really long time, and we know this is not true. This is just part of relationship. The relationship is going to evolve to other feelings, emotions, love. The passion, when the passion is not there. And the problem with that, like this belief that is wrong, is that we can really believe it and think that that was redone. We can really believe it, and then they're going to think that I'm not married to the right person, so I made a mistake. The passion is gone. So if the passion is gone, that means, yeah, I did not find my soulmate. She or he is not my soulmate. And I made a mistake. And some people may really believe it, and they may end up a perfectly good relationship because of this wrong belief. And then they are going to hurt the other partner, and they're going to create problems for himself, debt, karmic problems. And then this is going to happen, a trial expiation, and then we have to rescue this problem later on. So we are creating problems for ourselves because of a wrong belief, a myth that we think. I was talking about mythology and how mythology influences us. And one of the myths, like if you go back to the Greeks, they had a myth about the gods. The gods, like they split our souls in half. And at some point, they decided to split the souls in half. And so half of our soul went to a man, and the other half went to a woman. And then, after that, we are always looking for our other half, our soulmate, the other person that we are going to get together, and we are going to be finally happy. And this is a mythology, Greek mythology, but we still have this, like in the form of the soulmate. We still think about soulmate, and many people were looking for that. And in Spiritism, we know that this is not true. We are going to have, there's nobody that's going to make us happy. We are the only ones that can make us happy. We have to work for it. We can have someone that's going to help us out, who's going to do everything he can to help us to evolve, and evolving, we are going to get happier. We're going to be a happier person. That's the way it works. But we cannot expect someone that's going to make us happy forever. And this is also something that can lead to people that can think, oh my God, it's not soulmate, and they can try and find someone else to start a new relationship because of this wrong belief. And I was talking about myths, right? One is about the sexual life, that the passion has to last forever. And some people say that the sexual life is the objective. Having a good sexual life is what makes a good relationship. And in Spiritism, as we saw, that's not what we believe. We believe that we have to evolve each other, we have to grow a relationship. And as a result of having a good relationship, we are going to know each other well, we are going to trust each other well, we are going to give ourselves to the other, and then a good sexual life is going to come as a result of a good relationship, and not the other way around. But some people think, no, that's the having a good sexual life is going to give me a good relationship, and this is unfortunately not true. The sexual life is something like a temporal, right? It's something that's going to go away. We are going to get old, and this is going to change with life. And if you don't have something like some feelings, love, understand to build a new relationship, then we don't have a relationship anymore, right? Because the sex life is going to be different. It's not going to be the same forever. Now let's talk a little bit about problems in a marriage. We talk about problems. Let's see if we can learn more about it. So some people they are looking for the perfect match and for the soulmate, and they can't find anybody. And they kind of end up alone because they never can find someone that's perfect enough for that person, even though this person is not perfect. But he or she is looking for a perfect person, and then they end up alone. They can't find anyone. Others, they are maybe they are alone and they have everything right, but everything is working for them. They are maybe handsome or pretty. They have financial stability and everything's going well, but they can't find anybody. That could be an expiation, right? Maybe it could be like I'm saying. This is just an example. I'm not saying that everybody is in the situation. That's what's going on. I'm just trying to give some examples so that we can think about how this mechanism works. Though that some people can be alone because they have, like in former life, they had some marriage and they did not value the partner and the family, and he left the family, and now he came to the spiritual world. They made like the planning again. They talked about this and they decided, okay, next life you're going to be alone as an expiation. You're not going to find anyone. And that could be the case, right? Difficult personalities. This is very common. So maybe we have some difficult personalities, and that affects our relationship. So maybe someone is like the person that suffocates the other. So he always wants to be together all the time. And the person that thinks that marriage is in a marriage you have to be together. There is no individual anymore. So the person, instead of being a marriage where there is one individual, another one, and then creates a third, which is the relationship, person thinks that they have to be like this. So they're going to create another. The individuals are going to go away. They're going to create something that's not one or the other. And that suffocates the other person, right? And the other person are going to not be happy with this situation, or maybe they're going to leave. Or maybe the person, another personality problems like the victim. If the person always want to be the victim, this is another personality problem. Or if someone wants the other to take care of him all the time, of him or her. So he's not looking for a partner, but looking for a dad or mom or something like that. Or maybe someone that just wants the other to do everything in his way. That's true. So we have lots of weird behaviors that we can, lots of personality flaws that can affect our relationships, and the path for it, we have to try to do self-knowledge, try to work on ourselves, or maybe go to therapy, or maybe go to fraternal meetings we have in the center and try to, but the path for it is like we have to identify it, because most of the people that do it, they don't see it. That's the problem, right? They don't see they are doing it, they don't notice that. And sometimes the other party doesn't tell them, or they just go away without saying what's wrong, and the person never knows. So the person is going to keep trying to have a relationship, and nothing works, and the reason is probably the personality. So the only way out is therapy or soul searching, do something like that, until you figure out that what's wrong and change it. There is also the case of obsession. This is a possible case too. So someone is having problems with relationships, nothing works, and there is no way. So they go to therapy, they go to everything, they try everything, and they can't find the cause. Sometimes it could be an obsession case, like maybe this person had an old enemy, another life. And this old enemy is like trying revenge, so he's trying to make this, all of the relationships, they're not gonna work on this person. Or maybe, which could be like, this person has an old love in another former life, and this person is very jealous, and don't want this person to have a new relationship, so it's very possessive. He or she is mine, is nobody else, so this spirit is gonna try to make his life, his or her life, the relationships will not work. But I'm not going to talk much about obsession. We all know that, or that could be a different speech, right? So, but just want to tell that the obsession depends on us. We have the power to not let this happen if we work, if you know how to work with this. And another problem could be the vibration problems. So it's like the person could be having some relationships for some time, and then at some point in her life, he or she comes like, oh my God, I'm just dating guys or girls that have. That are alcoholic, they have substance abuse problems or drug abuse problems, or they don't want to make the relationship last. They are like the girl boyfriend, the toaster boyfriend. Like when the relationship hits, it's gonna jump out, right? that's Fernando's joke. This guy, some people, so we only find the toasters, guys, right? And what's going on, right? And that could be a vibration problem. So I had a speech about that some time ago about the vibration. So we connect to the people which are in the same frequency as us. And sometimes we are like in balance. Maybe I'm too needy for some reason. I was like too needy, and then I kind of go off a little bit. And then we start to not connect to the person that is that otherwise would be in my frequency. So I start connecting with people that are a little bit different too. And then we have to always be careful with our vibration, our beliefs. We had another talk about this whole subject. It's a different subject, but this is that could give us problems in relationships too. Self-esteem could be a problem in relationship. Problems in self-esteem are very common. Many people have it in our spiritual development that we have right now. And the problem is that how I'm gonna. It's kind of harder to get a good relationship, to make someone like us if we don't like ourselves. That's the point. So if we have some self-esteem problem, which many people have, it makes it harder to get a good relationship. So we have to work on that. We have to do some. We have to kind of believe that we are all the same. Nobody is more deserving to be loved than. It's easy to say here. Easy to say that. It's hard to get it to work. But basically, that's it. We're gonna believe that we are everybody's son of God. Nobody is more deserving to be loved than anybody, and we are as good as anybody else, right? And there is some work to be done to get it going, but it's unnecessary. And if you don't do now, you're going to have to do in another life, so let's do it, right? The earlier you do, the better. And about freedom, so again, we're going to talk about individuality, I already said, so the individuality has to be kept in the marriage. We can't we can't, like I said, fuse the two and become just one. This is not healthy. The healthy way is like it's going to be two individuals and then the relationship. And so we have to have space to go out with friends, to go after our hobbies, to do our stuff alone. The other party too has to have this space to do it. This is necessary to have a healthy relationship. And then we are going to be together in the relationship as well. Another point, interesting point, is about like if you're gonna work on the spiritual development of the other party, sometimes we're gonna have to say something, right, about his or her behavior. They're gonna say you're doing something wrong, like put the towel in the wet towel in the bed and stuff like that. The problems we always have, right? Sometimes we're going to have to say harder stuff to the person because we love him or her, because we want her to have some feedback, right? But some people they really like to say constructive criticism a lot, so they say a lot all the time. They're saying this, and they really want to help a lot. This is kind of not healthy way to work. We should kind of be look for the right time to say stuff, the right way to say it, right? We can't do it a lot because then it's going to have a devastating effect. The person will think, oh my God, I'm dumb, right? I do everything wrong, I don't do anything right. So we have to be careful with that. There is a phrase I never forgot. I saw in one of the Andrea Luiz's books. He says like the right word at the appropriate time. It's like a golden apple in a silver plate. It's really, I never forgot that. It's really an interesting way to see it. Really, we have to figure out. We can say the same thing for a person many times, and he'll never listen to it. But if you say this thing in the right time, then oh my God, yeah, you're right. Then it's gonna work. So the right word at the appropriate time is like a golden apple served in a silver plate. It's a very interesting phrase. Okay, so just to wrap it up, I'm gonna say some more words. Marriage and happiness are not necessarily together. Because of the divine laws, we'll find friends and foes, affinity and expiations that are unavoidable. We cannot believe that the marriage will bring me happiness. Nobody has the capacity or duty to make us happy other than ourselves. We don't have the capacity or duty to make anyone happy either. So we are not obligated to make someone happy. We can help this person to be happy. That's all we can do. What one can do is to bring affection, love, friendship, and all his virtues to the marriage. Marriage is a big opportunity to become a better person, to grow spiritually. It's necessary that we feel good about ourselves, then add marriage as a new dimension to our lives. It's going to add, I'm okay with myself, then let's add to it, let's have now a relationship. That would be the ideal, if we can do that. There is no place like home. Home is the center, but not the limit of love. Building a healthy and loving family, doesn't matter if it has 2 or 10 people, will be affecting and improving the world in which we live. Okay guys, thank you very much. Now we are open to questions.
Votes.